he agrees that the situation we face with the CD and the economy, and they had to go to the IMF, was a result of the ineptitude of the John Mahama government.
That's what you said.
Yes.
And you promised better.
So, at that time, President Mahama said that the problem was because of international situation. In 2014, 2015, let me quote him. He said, I do think we must also look at the reality of the world situation, the global financial crisis, and all of that. In 2014, what was the global international crisis? He says our economy, in 2015, he says our economy is still fragile. This year, we have revised growth figures downwards because of the developments on the international markets. You know, China has slowed down. It's affecting the whole international market. 2016, he saw and said, our world is becoming increasingly complex and unpredictable. Majority of economies are sailing against strong headwinds in the world economic crisis and slowdown in China. So, 2014, the troubles that we had in this country that led us to IMF. Okujeto and his collaborators, led by President Mahama, they said it was international situation. Today, that you have a real international situation, they say no, it's not international situation. It's the ineptitude.
I remember
because there was no international situation.
There was nothing.
In 2014, what was the international crisis?
When the commodity prices for cocoa.
For Muntie, the description around the Abbey Edibema as international crisis. Or see, commodity prices, eba form, and it's an international crisis. For you, or see, the commodity prices eba form in 2014, 2015 into an international crisis. Sana, a journalist, said the world economy, the whole world, every single country, is facing one particular problem, which is the COVID and the war in Ukraine. Randiabi person or say, international crisis by 2014, 2015. Then or say commodity prices, cocoa, and a good or whatever, but a muntie. Na se wo a wotie mi na wo gye na asem tum a ene de ye wo asem se ewiase amanse nyina fesi single problem wo de wo se wo de wo ton kuku wo ton good into aba from the international crisis. Let's listen
When gold dropped, they plummeted to the levels that they plummeted, and those were your key revenue planks. It wasn't an international situation.
But as for commodity prices, they go up and down.
Yeah, but not.
It wasn't an international crisis.
Why do you say that?
No. If the price of cocoa has gone up or down, it's an international crisis. It is not
a global situation.
Is it that?
Yeah, me say, oh my Ghana. Yebekoswa. I just say your ma media for no one ejuma. I just say your ma omo state institution, run state institution, majuma. She America me no kasa free. State institution, majuma pepe. Obi o America no wo UK bia o de frɛ no na sasema making me boa. Also betimi a research. Media house be aligned whether Republican or Democrat, but when they're having a discussion, they tell the truth. They don't lie. They can meander around and do their politics with it. But you see, say, it's not an outright lie. Randiabi person say when cocoa prices goes down, it's an international crisis. When cocoa and gold, the price go down, an international crisis. Krobiaso, the whole world, Krobiaso, Anomuja cocoa. There are few countries in the world, the producers of cocoa. So if that commodity price comes down, it does not affect It does not mean a global crisis. A Ghana na be a homebachiri, but any global crisis. And as your cocoa price ever for Mukrana, there are other things be a bay affected. It be a yesika nye your project be. You understand? Ye yesika nye ABCDB. But when cocoa prices comes down, it doesn't mean say inflation be cost. What kind of bogus economics is this? What kind of bogus journalism is this? These are the people that are called journalists. They're not journalists. They are journalists. And you don't think in Kuano, you know. Or say 2014, 2015, cocoa price baffle into an international crisis. Me pacho America, omudua cocoa. Me pacho UK, omudua cocoa. China, omudua cocoa. Russia, omudua cocoa. Turkey, omudua cocoa. So how can a whole journalist seeking to defend the indefensible, seeking to lie to the people, seeking to do propaganda with a real issue that can be confirmed with just a click of a button on your phone? It can be confirmed. Situation like COVID, countries have spent their money. While they are spending their money, they were not getting money into their coffers because all economic activities came to a standstill. But this guy wants us to believe, say, when cocoa prices, which is the commodity price on the world market, ever from what? An international crisis. What a jaundice argument. And this guy is a journalist. This guy is a journalist. Oh, baby, Jina how? But don't lie to the people. If you lie, how are we going to solve our problem? Mommy Unkosu need to Mommy Unkosu.
Oil is not a global situation.
Is cocoa the only thing that you sell?
What you, apart from cocoa and gold, what are your major things?
Diversify?
Why didn't you?
Now
No.
Say what? As a journalist, I see cocoa and gold is the only thing. And a politician, busa or no say, why didn't the government then diversify? This journalist called Randy Abbey is asking the politician, another politician making that argument, and say, why didn't they also diversify? Okasa Nina Unirefi said the one district, one factory, the industrialization agenda is purely or is merely to diversify our economy, to change the structure of our economy. So me say, anka one district, one factory, and koswa, anka international crisis be like the hook of this kind of media people will be say, and economy no, we import everything, as a government, I don't know, industrialize economy no. Why are we not diversifying the economy? The economic structure need to be changed. Opa, check from 2020 before MPP came to power. That was the chorus of this kind of media people. Economy no, gold no, when the government came in and the government brought an industrialization agenda, because that was the chorus of these media people. Nanado said, when I come, I will do one district, one factory to diversify our economy so that we will be exporting to meet at least your importation bill, no, your export here. It will balance it off. It will create employment. It will bring so many things. It will make our economy strong. It will make the fundamentals of our economy pretty strong. And it is going to kill our currency depreciation. One say, Obianka one district, one factory. One say, Obia, like media people no, are not referring to say how far is the one district, one factory. They are not. In actual sense, that is the cure for currency depreciation. Because when your import bill is so high, when the international market, things go very, very, very high, or price skyrocket, it will affect your currency. because you need to change more dollars to buy the same goods that you've been buying. Therefore, supply or demand of the dollar will exceed the supply of the dollar, therefore shooting the price of dollar pretty high. And so a journalist
I took my time to
say
quote.
the same thing
Hold on.
for today. I'm saying that the point I'm making to you
Today there's
is
a
that
proper international crisis.
which is what?
Look, let me quote you what the IMF and the World Bank are saying. Not me.
Yeah.
If I quote me, you say, oh, me, I'm not a. But look,
But
cost
now
of
what I want
living.
to deal with is what you said
Yes.
at the time
Yeah.
and what you promised
I
to
said
do
so because.
and what the situation is today.
No problem.
Okay. Obusane say edien na MPP kan na edien na omoka somewhere. Me pacho all the things that MPP said, they gave solutions. They gave pragmatic measures. Our the best solve it, whatever the problem was in 2014, 2015, 2016. They promised said doing so will be things of the past. Me pacho you like this one. They promised said because of the city depreciation in the economy now, employment no. They would diversify the economy. And what did they say they would do to diversify the economy? Or the one district, one factory, ebeba. Or promising and said, because your economy is agrarian, like a agri-based economy. In terms of the day, almost strengthen the agri sector. Me pacho, buy planting for food and jobs. Me pacho, anyana. These are some of the key promises that the politicians said. So even if you doubt it, even if they have not done it, this is how you're supposed to ask. Itemize it. You say you do free SHS. You said you do one district, one factory. You've not done it. Maybe you promised 200 factories. You've done only 10 or 5 or 20. These are the key things that a journalist worth his salt must ask. But when I quiet, can say say economy na is definitely no, and say you saw wokon near the year. I mean, what kind of classic kind of politics is that? When you come to America, whatever Biden said, what the Democrats said, they refer them. And they are specific on what they said. And they will be specific on what they've done. Opportunity Fox News, Opportunity CNN. When the politicians come and sit in front of them, they will say the specific thing you said and refer you to the current situation now. What MPP promised is not evicting. It's not something that it was in black and white. So all the argument has been said, not John Mahama was no, and Yamana now yana mo complaining. EBSC and you see the hollowness, you see the ineptitude, so the kind of journalism echoes Ghana. Let me refer you before I come back to Randy Abbey. Let me tell Randy Abbey the kind of journalism echoes we are saying, the kind of professionalism journalism echoes. You can ask your question, okay, but you must be very truthful. Muntie.
The situation in the country, and you have been very outspoken about the economic turmoil that you are seeing in Ghana. The country is enduring deep economic problems, rampant inflation. Now, of course, this is not unique to Ghana. We're seeing this globally. But we saw protests in the
with countries accounting for a third of the global economy expected to contract this year or next. The three largest economies, the United States, China, and the euro area, will continue to stall. In short, the worst is yet to come, and for many people, 2023 will feel like a recession. Global growth next year could slow down to below 2%, a historically low level. We've only had that 5 times since 1970. The slowdown is most pronounced in the euro area, where the energy crisis caused by the war will continue to take a heavy toll. reducing growth to 0.5% in 2023. Almost everywhere, rapidly rising prices, especially for food and energy, are causing serious hardships for vulnerable households. Despite the slowdown, inflation pressures are proving broader and more persistent than anticipated. Global inflation is now expected to peak at 9.5% in the third.
Where your World Bank penny and all kind the global economic situation now. Mepacho, Randy Abbey, in 2014, 2015, 2016, World Bank a such press conference informing the whole world about the crisis that the world finds itself in. Mepacho, in 2014, 2015, pandemic BC a global crisis ana. Mo your man before. More counting that yenya good politicians in Ghana because you kill the good politician and you try as much as possible to maintain the bad leaders, the bad politicians. Ayenya, Ghana because of the mobility. When you find a pure stomach journalism, but listen to a proper journalism. Listen.
The situation in the country, and you have been very outspoken about the economic turmoil that you are seeing in Ghana. The country is enduring deep economic problems, rampant inflation. Now, of course, this is not unique to Ghana. We're seeing this globally. But we saw protests in the...
Sir Marty. A bright John Mahama, a proper journalist, professional journalist, animono. So in command only needy. I say yes, Ghana mukuru no more yedin. And yama bo kosro, which is inflation. Na any something pertaining to your country and your global is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Randy Abbey say cocoa prices and gold price came down. International crisis. What a bogus journalist. Because you are seeking to paint the current government so on yet by hook or crook into the Yankas one yet. When COVID came, was it not international crisis? When COVID came, how did the government government crew, how did they manage it? And what cost the nation in terms of managing such crisis? When teachers sat home for 8 months, there was no productivity. When state workers, shift, productivity was low. When there was no import coming in, when planes were not flying in, or you don't know when people move, when people come into your country, the country will get money. When people who were supposed to move from UK, US come into the country, change their dollars and pound sterling, that will boost our foreign exchange. The country suffered all this things for about a year, but the country didn't collapse. Our lights were on. Our lights were on. In John Mahama time, our lights were off. There was no international crisis. Randy Abbey is talking about commodity prices. In 2014, 2015, the world crude oil prices came down to the level about $42, $45 per barrel. And when Ghanaians were asking the government, then said the world commodity price, which Randy Abbey mentioned, oil. Randy Abbey mentioned oil in 2014, 2015, when oil prices came down, and Ghanaians were asking John Mahama to reduce it. Then NPA boss, Ghana for. Randy Abbey was not in the country. Because he was in government. He was at the Flagstaff House. This guy talking. He was at the Flagstaff. Let's listen.
Whether if you are in UK or in US, the kind of cars we use in Ghana, you can't believe this is Ghana. So cars on our streets. And if you have been traveling, which you know that if you are in UK or in US, the kind of cars we use in Ghana, you can't believe this is Ghana.
So you think Ghanaians are being hypocritical with paying the increment?
Yes, I think when it comes to fuel, Ghanaians are being hypocritical. Do you know how much, let's say, a small box?
Mpacho, the Oka say, NDC appointee, National Petroleum Authority, man when not done in 2014-2015, the world price of crude about form. And Ghana for say about form dia yen to suma Ghana because na akosro amia to petrol and the teba form it was around 90 hovering around $100. Then it came down and Ghana for say oh say about form dia tiso na ho kire ho because that time kwani wo dum so people were using this fuel to power their generators. People were using this fuel to power their generators for homes, for factories and other things. This is what NDC said. This is what the government then, 2014-2015, said.
Of ice cream cost.
Let me ask you, Mr. Saga, beyond
50. Then when it comes to about 50 Ghana cedis or even more, you know, that one they can pay. So how do you compare ice cream to fuel? Do you know how petrol is gotten?
Mr. Saga, beyond these...
Swati. Where Moses Saga, 2014-2015, I'm not the MP boss, Petroleum Authority, on our so. Or say, ice cream cost 50 Ghana cedi yeto, petrol, eco 50 Ghana cedis, a Ghana for toa ni isu. Na yenhwe ya kwan so. Cars go uko UK kura nyibi ne ho. This is what these guys were telling us. Na economic crisis bia ewiase economic crisis bia mayo. Na ewiase economic crisis bia mai. Na Russia ene nasefo economic crisis bia mai. And so Randia bit na ho say cocoa price aba from gold price aba from ti ene na eye economic crisis ema John Mahama mamu na enkoso. And then I did doom so by me say if yan checking the media for no, we always blame our politicians. Because if you have such a journalist and making such a weird analysis, such a bogus analysis, and they chere what so politicians be or no onye na adwen so odwen ho a obanye sika no be wi a owi a sa na no so wa mani bi edi. We don't do things like that. Tell the people the truth. Let the people decide based on the correct information you give them. That is your job as a media person. Your job is not to try as much as possible because you believe in certain political ideology or you believe in certain politicians. You want them to come to power for God knows why you want them to come, even if they are failure. You're trying hard for them to come up some by force. Musa Saga, Samati. Or say ice cream koswa yankasa petro koswa ne yakasa. This were the answers of the Ghana for.
Explanations you're giving, is it that government is bankrupt of ideas, or it is just that Ghanaians must face the reality of paying the real price?
Well, I think the real price is the real price because governments from President Kufuor through Atta Mills up to John Mahama has been subsidizing for Ghanaians. But this we should not subsidize. Look, every day the price of cement increases, but Ghanaians go to buy cement.
So I see every day cement ekosro. And so Ghana for koto. Ghana for mama yensu enyansa. Mama yen put some people in check, especially the media people. Mama mun deceive mo. Mama mun deceive mo. Cry. Mama mun deceive mo. Mama yentie asama Randy Abbey ebesan akaka ho. Whilst conversation no mama yenti the obeka.
You know what I said? I said so because
when I say you, I don't mean just you.
I know.
Yes.
There was no international crisis.
So what is the international crisis today?
Today,
yes.
You don't know?
No,
but yourself, you've admitted on this show.
No,
that
tell me, what is it? You said that you said that plummeting of commodity prices
That's what you
for
are
a country
saying.
like Ghana is not an international issue.
How can that be an international crisis?
Fine. You say it's not an international.
How can that be
what
international
is the crisis that has affected
the crisis today?
Yes. Yes.
Is that COVID and the Russian war against Ukraine has caused a global slowdown everywhere. And as we speak, there are riots in Europe. As we speak, 30 African countries have gone to the IMF. I'll quote to you what John Mahama himself said about today. Today, the crisis today. I'll quote to you. So it's not me saying it. Look, when he went to Harvard,
yes,
he said,
and I hope you read the whole thing. Yes, because we've had this here before.
Oh, we've had it here. So
yes.
you know.
Yes.
Yes. So what he said.
God. Well, the guy was supposed to be a moderator of a show. But now the guy has turned to be a defender of the opposition. The guy has turned to be a defender of John Mahama. Meanwhile, he was supposed to be in the seat as a journalist. As what Tana could say, or yen central for. Or say, read the whole thing. I don't know one train, Nana Comia, and kind of a kind of way. Na uwia, also what can say, and it's all can say this year can. Ghana for Mama Yesu Nyasa. Mama Yesu Nyasa. Se Randia bitimi tena ho. Eka chire yen se. I be sure cry. Cocoa price eba form. Gold price eba form. Anything that John Mahama dear code do so me who say crisis na. Anything that then the city need it depreciate here. Anything that any amount cost you there soon for 4 years. Ghana for Monfa mo ho adwene. Monfa mo ho adwene. Say Randia be etimi tena station ebusa a politician say what is the international crisis economic crisis masa dwene ho bi. Enye mo adwene so okon ama because they don't have the country at heart. They don't have you at heart. Never think say they are fighting for you. They are fighting for what they will get and to make their family richer. What they will get in making their family better. Not you. No you. It's around there be timid now beside this question. Ghana for Mofa Mohadjene. Mafa Mohadjene, ye bedi Diego Mabojusum, sir. Medemo ebesi hase na yebesa to aso tape no wa yebesa ato aso. Edia mejeswane nana amponsa. Subscribe to the channel on all media platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. The channel 22. We are going to build a country. A CSCC yamano. A yamenewo. And you'll be Diamages to an amposa, Medimbesia, channel the channel 22, a new channel eba. To your near Masi, Yabeba in a full gear, I just say. With the Chaguono, and I say yes, we cabi, now for and two in futru and woman. The Ecosono, me America has a baby beer. The Ecosono, a baby beer. And Ghana kwa baby beer.